Hi, Dr. Charles Sevcik with the Life Enhancement Clinic with today's Life Talk. I want to share with you my thoughts on a radio broadcast I heard on my way home from work yesterday. It was broadcast by K-Fire, and it was Trent Luce, Dakota Trails and Tales, and he was reviewing an article that was published recently of a study done with Johns Hopkins Public Health and the School of Medicine, identifying the rate of obesity and overweight doctors and the medical profession, both doctors and nurses. He began to show the highlights of the study that showed that 53% of all physicians are either overweight or obese, and that the large majority of nurses are the same, which kind of correlates with our current epidemic of 64% of the U.S. adult population being considered overweight or obese. And he began to identify with this article review saying that because of this epidemic and because of the overweight and obesity among the medical profession, many patients are not having their health related weight issues addressed at their medical visits because of this problem. And so we know that we're facing an epidemic of obesity. We know that it's affecting teenagers and children and adults, and so it is a problem that needs to be addressed adequately. Now, when we look at the underlying causes of obesity, I think that is where we need to spend some time and improve the understanding in conventional medicine. I think from a clinical nutrition, a functional medicine standpoint, we understand it pretty well. And at the conclusion of Trent Luce's broadcast, he made a statement. He said that really being as healthy or having a healthy weight is not as difficult as everyone makes it out to be. And I agree with that. However, he went on to say that all you have to do is eat healthy and exercise a lot. I think that's not true. When you look at what causes somebody to have weight issues, so struggle with obesity or being overweight, we really identify three major things: stress, toxins, and malnutrition. Unfortunately, just eating healthy is not an option for us no, any longer. Our food is being grown in nutrient depleted soil. Our food supply is contaminated. Our livestock is being contaminated with hormones and antibiotics and residual toxins. And so there's more to the story than simply eating right and exercising a lot. If that were all that it took to be healthy, then there would not be an obesity and overweight epidemic. I see in my practice rather many patients who come in to see me who are overweight or battling their weight, and they have struggles with weight issues, and yet they're very diligent in watching what they eat, and they've been diligent with exercise, but yet they can't lose weight until you start to look at what the factors leading to the weight issue are. And again, just sticking with the three basic principles of stress, toxins, and malnutrition, we're going to find that that be an underlying contributor to a lot of the overweight and obesity epidemic. Take stress, for example. We know that when you're under stress and you secrete the stress hormone cortisol, we know that cortisol makes us put on body fat. And so let's just take the scenario of the Johns Hopkins Public Health study that showed that the increase in obesity and overweight in the medical profession. And let's take these medical doctors and these nurses who live a very high stress lifestyle, being on call, very little sleep, skipped meals, setting themselves up for a overweight or obese situation. And so stress is a major player. If you're battling stress, you're going to also begin to battle the bulge. And so you've got to make sure that you are managing your stress to some degree. And we can discuss that in future episodes. But when we look at toxins, the majority of toxins that affect us are fat soluble toxins. And so what our body will do is it will put on more body fat, kind of acting like more closets to throw the junk in before the company comes over. And so your body will put on more fat cells to try to surround those toxins to protect them from getting into your brain, your heart, and these organs that it's trying to protect. And then finally is malnutrition. And if you don't know this already, then you just begin to look online and begin to read the newspapers and begin to just keep up with what's going on. But the standard American diet does not fulfill the need of what you have for micronutrients and macronutrients. It does not fit the bill any longer. We have a diet that is very low in fiber, it's low in good fats, very high in inflammatory fats, it's very high in refined carbohydrates that lead to dysglycemia and high blood sugars and insulin imbalances. And yet, so many people are told they go to their doctor, and if weight is brought up, and which it's not brought up often enough, but if it is brought up, they're told to simply eat a well balanced meal and exercise more. And that's not the full solution. You've got to address the malnutrition aspect, the micronutrient issues. And so I'll run body composition profiles on my patients, and we'll find that many that are even normal weight, so they're not considered overweight or obese based on their BMI, but they come in with normal weight, yet their lean muscle mass is so low. That's a condition called sarcopenic obesity, where they're actually losing lean muscle mass, and that also poses a significant health risk. So when you look at the underlying causes, stress, toxins, malnutrition, and address those, then you can find yourself on a healthy path and have resolution to this overweight obesity issue that you've been struggling with. There's a lot of fad things out there. I do agree with Trent Lewis's statement that it's easier than it seems to be, but he did make this comment. He said it requires a lot of discipline and a strong work ethic. And for you to get to where you're at now, to the place that you want to be, is going to require some diligence and perseverance on your part. But you can do it. And when you give yourself the right tools and you give yourself the right information and stop going on the fad diets that mess up your metabolism, then eating right, drinking right, moving right, sleeping right, talking right, pooping right, the Magnificent Seven, when you begin to do those things, then you can regain your health and you can get your ideal weight goals achieved and met. So, with today's Life Talk, I'm Dr. Charles Sefcik. Take care.